All right, Ian. This must have tickled your fancy quite a bit when you saw the latest batch. Giga League 3 has been called, of the Nintendo Monster Leak packages. This one focused a lot on unreleased Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles.
Yeah, this one was real exciting for me just because I love Game Boy. It's kind of the only retro system besides PC Engine that I pay attention to. So it's always fun to see Game Boy stuff come out. And so many of these unreleased games that came out or that are people are talking about right now from this Giga Leak are pretty much complete, ready-to-go games that just got axed before they were released, or in the case of some of them, never released over here, but they did get released in Japan. So all these ROMs came from what I believe they called was a lot check dump. So basically, it was a dump of basically it's a compilation of every Game Boy game. It's everything that was released. They have so it's for archival purposes.
A library,
yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
At least we know Nintendo was saving them.
Right.
That's good.
The big one was Pokemon Picross. It was canceled in 1999. It's the only Pokemon game that was announced and then just outright canned.
Wow.
Didn't get a Japanese release or a US release.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
It would have sold just on the name.
It's crazy to think about it because, well, Picross has become a very popular puzzle game these days, but they did release Mario's Picross in the US and in Japan, and it was a fairly popular title. I can't, even though it wasn't as well known of a puzzle game then, I can't see this not having done well. I have no idea why this would not have been released.
It would have been profitable. You've already made the game. Right. So why not put it out?
It's Pokemon. No. It's a puzzle game. Who knows who you could have got, you sell 100,000. Who cares? You still made money. Right. You could have sold this to two entirely different audiences.
Yeah.
It looks good. This is one that I definitely want to check out myself and play. And they say basically it's 100% done.
Wow.
There was a Mega Man board game for the Game Boy that never came out. That is basically done. It was called Rock Board. It's a Mega Man board game. It looks like a lot of the other video game board games that were released around that time, like Dice de Chocobo and stuff like that. My guess is it's probably some sort of spin on Monopoly. Real estate trading stocks, something like that, figured into Mega Man. Also, there was a puzzle game called Sute Hakun, a first-party puzzle game for the Super Famicom Satellaview. There was a version of that being released for Game Boy Color. This one is interesting. There was a Gargoyles Quest II. So the first Gargoyles Quest came out on the Game Boy. And it came out over here on the Game Boy and in Japan on the Game Boy. And then Gargoyles Quest II did get a Game Boy release in Japan, but over here it only got the US version that people know on the NES.
NES, but not Game Boy here.
But not Game Boy.
But it's the same game. Or similar.
Yeah, more or less the same game. That did get a Game Boy release in Japan, but never over here. I don't know if it was to, try to make sure that the NES version sold, because I think that was not a super late release, but a later release.
92, and that's a very uncommon game. So, that by 92, they were obviously going away from the NES. I'm surprised they wouldn't release it on the Game Boy here.
But there was an English translation apparently in the works, basically complete, and that was another one.
Wow, that's a biggie.
That's a big one. And the other big one like that was Legend of the Sea King. So Legend of the River King is a popular Natsumi fishing game series. And there was a spin-off title called Legend of the Sea King that focuses more on ocean fishing. That once again did get released in Japan, did not get released over here. One of the releases, or one of the things found in this lot check dump, was a basically complete English translation that never made it. Not as strange necessarily as Gargoyles Quest. I don't know that, the market for fishing games is huge. I love them. But once again, once this is done, you have to wonder, like, how bad were the prospects? How bad did you think the prospects were for it to not sell it? And it's not like they released Legend of the River King and were like, oh, this did poorly, and didn't release Legend of the Sea King, because Legend of the River King 2 got released over here. There are multiple entries in the River King series that got released over here. So
maybe they figure, well, we don't need this one out. We got
exactly. We don't need to flood the market with fishing games.
That's
it? Kind of
flood water.
I just keep doing this, and I'm not even trying to.
It's like an 8 pun today.
Yeah.
I got excited for Gimmick Land until I didn't realize it was a Mr. Gimmick RPG. It was something else. It's what is this? Tomato Adventure?
Yeah.
That for Game Boy Color. That got that. I don't know how done that was. I just saw that tweeted about. It's adorable looking.
Basically done. So that was by Alpha Dream. Alpha Dream no longer exists, unfortunately. We kind of talked about that briefly. But they were popular and famous for doing the Mario and Luigi series of RPGs on the portable systems. They also did Hamtara's Ham games, one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games. That's a different developer than did their story-based games, but Ham Games is like the Hamster Olympics game, and it's really good. Alpha Dream stuff is always very cute, very fun, and this one looks to be no different.
But there's more. We got more. A game called Bloomland is on here. Come on, Ian. We didn't talk about Game Boy Camera Hello Kitty.
No, we didn't. I was just... My brain was already leading to my next topic, so I wanted to get those out of the way first. Yeah, there's a Game Boy printer game. It's a Hello Kitty. It's called Hello Kitty Game Boy Camera, and it looks like, you can play it like a simple print shop for your Game Boy, and you can print the stuff out on the printer. I could see why that one was maybe not released. I can't imagine that anyone was really clamoring for a game that you basically need the printer for to work, since I don't think it was particularly popular.
So people just bought the printer when they had the camera, and that was it. That's all they needed for a little toy gimmick.
So, exciting stuff. Always like to see these, and this leak has just shown that so much stuff was. It just shows how much time is put on stuff that never sees the light of day.
Oh, sure.
It's wild.
I mean, it happens with movies and TV shows and albums. So, like, why not with video games? You spend all this time making this stuff, and it's like, no one's going to see this. Or we're gonna can this thing, or we'll put it on a direct-to-video somewhere in Eastern Europe. It'll never come out here. Man, imagine if they found one of these library dumps for another, like one of the other Nintendo systems. They found it for the NES. And found some unreleased stuff that we know that it was made that we have we haven't seen. That would be incredible.
I mean, from my understanding here is that they are still working through just an absolute shit ton of data.
Wow.
And I don't, again, I mentioned this the last time we talked about this leak. I don't know the exact nature of it, but I believe it's thought that this is all still coming from that one massive data breach in 2018, I think.
So they got to get this. They got to decipher and parse through all this data and see what's actually there, what's garbage, what's not.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, you might see the NES. You might see NES stuff. Frank Cifaldi said that not to worry, that the full Vanilla Ice game that was unreleased was included in this dump as well, so you can go out and play Rap Quest
on Game Boy.
Yeah, which looks awful, but yes, there's a Vanilla Ice game.
So that'll come out at some point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, people have been talking about that for a few years. I think there's been a playable ROM out, but yeah, it was in that dump. So all sorts of fun stuff.
Oh man, I gotta get into Game Boy. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
I'm hoping the Married Children NES game, that probably was never made, but that was talked about in Nintendo Power. That'll be interesting. Cool. And then there was also other stuff like a prototype Wii Sports thingamajobber was in there. Then there was like images. It looks like early images of like what the Wiimote might look like. There's so much stuff in here that it's nuts. Like this is going over or crossing over decades in game generations. So yeah, maybe you go back to the, if this includes early 90s, if they had that NES library thing, we're talking about 94 last NES release with Wario Woods official one, then maybe they would have that stuck in there somewhere. I'm getting my hopes up. But for someone like you that loves the Game Boy, this is like heaven.
That's like Christmas.
So now you're filling in all those gaps and you're getting all these translated games that you don't have to worry about, fan hacks, what have you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's fantastic.
I just outright say it. Like, I want to throw that Pokemon one on a flash cart and play it on my Game Boy.
Ian, I'm happy for you, Ian.
I will. I'm excited.
I hope you're this happy for me when they find the NES ROM dump where it's like, new kids on the block on the NES.